Do you think anyone is coming to save you?
No one is coming to save me. The Nigerian system has failed us so bad that we can't keep wishing we were born in the US. When we talk about external motivation, it can start a movement, it can start a passion, but it doesn't sustain it.
You might be born looking like the decision of your parents, or you die looking like your
own decision. I think you can wake up every morning with the understanding that I need to be responsible for the outcome of my life.
People place more reliance on that external factor than, motivating yourself. I am Solomon Faith.
I'm Emmanuel.
This is LIT, Leaders in Training. Do you think anyone is coming to save you?
I think nobody's coming to save me, and because I strongly believe that the life I live, every decision I need to make that is responsible for my growth and my becoming has to be self-made decisions. So I don't really think anybody will live my life for me, anybody will instill discipline on me, anybody will cause me to move when I don't feel like moving. It has to be self-made, and that's what saving is all about. So I strongly believe no one is coming to save. My growth is dependent on me.
So you feel self-motivation is underrated and external motivation is overrated?
Yeah, I strongly believe self-motivation is now very underrated because a lot of people depend on external motivation, and that's what I mean by external push, inspirational words, inspirational quotes that to cause you to do what you want to do. And times where no external force is coming to motivate you, you now realize that you're not doing anything.
And the truth is, many times you would not be able to get that external motivation. In fact, because when you want to do something big, you might just have detractors. People will want to even stop you from doing it because they don't believe in that vision. So if you don't have an internal pull for yourself, you are going to find it difficult.
I see, I understand that self-motivation is what sustains growth. When we talk about external motivation, it can start a movement, it can start a passion, but it doesn't sustain it because you won't get the liberty of being motivated by an external force every single day. For example, now you have a mentor. You won't be able to see your mentor on every single day, except if your mentor is not busy. But my mentor is always busy, so I can't see him every single day to ask this. Surprisingly enough, sometimes when I have the privilege of seeing my mentor, if I come like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, or this is what I intend to do, his first question is, so what have you done so far, or what have you thought about it so far? So just imagine I'm telling him that there's nothing. He'll be disappointed. He won't be there for me every day. That external push will not be there. So when I don't feel like doing it, I don't do.
Okay, so what do you think about probably putting probably every day you wake up, you have a particular time where you have someone's video, for instance, like your mentor that you talked about, probably has audio materials, putting it on repeat every morning, just taking some of his clips and listening to them. Do you think that thinking in that direction works?
Yeah, it does. It helps. But the problem with that is that it doesn't address your everyday problem. It doesn't address your everyday problem. It can just stir up something. And that's what people don't understand. External motivation can stir up a work, but it doesn't sustain it. Because when you are motivated, your emotions rise. And when that emotion rise, you want to do everything you feel like you should do, but you will meet challenges on the way. Now, what helps you overcome those challenges is not those external motivation you've received. It is now the inner fire that you can now self-motivate yourself that helps you overcome every obstacle you meet on your way.
And I would think, to a large extent, this example I just gave, it still takes making a decision to wake up every morning. So at the end of the day, there's something you have to do also. Yeah, so that's powerful. Most people want validation before they do something. They are not confident in themselves to start up a project. They need someone to first tell them that it's okay to do this. So based on what we are talking about now, what would be your advice, or what would you say someone who finds themselves in that situation, what can they do?
Now, let me say something. The system some system has failed. Like Nigerian system has failed us so bad that we can't keep wishing we're born in US. We can't keep wishing we're born in any other countries. Some even the family we're born to. Some person sees an advantage,
We don't wish
rather a disadvantage rather. But you can't keep allowing yourself to keep living in regret simply because the system or your surrounding is faulty. So I think you can wake up every morning with the understanding that I need to be responsible for the outcome of my life, because now where I was giving birth to was not my decision to make, but what I become is my decision.
Yeah, so you might be born looking like the decision of your parents, or you die looking like your own
decision.
Yeah.
And my mentor said something. He said, if you are grown enough to identify the problem, you should be mature enough to solve it.
Yeah. Powerful.
So I that word has stick with me so well, that if I identify that this is the problem, I should be able to bring solutions to it.
Okay. So the first thing you have mentioned now, for those who find themselves in a situation where they always want someone to validate them and all that, once you know that this is a problem and I need to come out of it, then you need to start making conscious decisions on how to get out of it.
The problem is the problem is external motivation is this. Sometimes we need to understand the risks behind taking an external motivation. We're not saying that seeking, I just said I have a mentor. So seeking advice, this is not a show to downplay the place of advice, mentor, seeking help. No. But what I'm trying to say is that we must learn to understand the risks behind every motivation and advice you get. Now let me tell you a story. I was in a tricycle going towards Maraba to get something, and there was a little hold up.
Maraba, we have audience from other places so that they can get
Nigeria, Maraba, Nigeria. So I think it's a natural state. Yeah, natural state, Maraba, Nigeria, natural state. So there was a little hold up on the way, and the tricycle decided to follow one way. I particularly said, please, the hold up is not much, let's go. But the other people inside the keke said that he should go one way, that they're in a hurry and everywhere. You know, this guy took that one way. And I can remember vividly, that day Ramadan was starting, so the fasting just started. So this guy trying to cross the road, and he was not paying attention towards this side. He entered, and the tricycle ran. He fell down so bad, bleeding. Every single one of us inside that keke came down. Nobody assisted the young man to help him carry. Everybody disappeared. I stood there. I said, what? Even the people who advised him to follow one way left. Now, the painful part is that nobody even paid their transport money. So he shouldered the responsibility of the victim, while it was other people that advised him. So somebody can advise you, if you don't understand the risks behind the advice, please don't take it. Because by the time it fails, you will not just deal with a failed business idea, a failed you also deal with that you can't forgive yourself because it was somebody who advised you. You will not be putting the blame on yourself, you're putting the blame on somebody else. So that you are dealing with two problems.
And I think it works with opportunities too. There are opportunities you want to take or steps you want to take, and then people tell you, no, I don't think that's good. And then because you are listening to people, you end up scattering, and then maybe someone else does the same thing, they succeed. I remember I was talking with a friend, and he told me there was this time he was thinking about starting a car wash. He saw an open space and he wanted to do it. It was a nice business, he thought of it. But he felt, I don't think it will work. Then a few months later, someone had the same idea and started. And then he began to see a lot of people going there, customers were going, and I was just thinking, wow, how much is this guy making? I wish I had started it, right? So sometimes you just hear advice from people and then you stop yourself from doing something big.
Honestly. So honestly, I feel that one of the reasons again is because of our past. Our past. A lot of people, their past has kept them in prison. And because of their past that has kept them in prison, they want someone to talk to them. See, I tell people that enjoy failure. The problem with failure is that you're not learning from the reason why you failed. So you failed today. That That's not a problem. The problem in failure is that you didn't learn the reason why you fail to avoid it. So I feel like when we want to depend on self-motivation, the two things is this: understand the risks. And I strongly believe that discipline is better than external motivation. Discipline is better than external motivation.
That's a powerful thought. So when we say no one is coming to save you, we've talked about how you need to be the one to motivate yourself. You need to take all the steps and all that. So if someone is putting in all the efforts, because that happens, you're putting in all the efforts, taking the steps, starting the business, putting the ideas together, pitching, people, and trying to just put yourself out there, and then you keep meeting resistance. Even though you talked about learning from mistakes, learning from your failures, and probably you've learned a lot, and you are trying to just modify yourself, come back again, but you still keep meeting resistance. What are some of the things, since we are not relying so much on external factors to motivate us, what are some other things? I mean, you are putting in all the effort, so what would you say in that instance?
And that's why I said that we are not completely downplaying the place of mentorship. Me personally, there are some challenges I face. Like, I'm into, let me just say, in random, 4 things I do, and for each of these things I have a mentor for each of them. So when I keep on meeting a particular resistance that I have done everything within my power to overcome, I seek mentorship. And sometimes when I go to my mentor and say, this is the issue, he tells me, what have you done? When I tell him how far I've gone, he now can tell me, okay, you've done well. Probably this is the little thing you're supposed to do. Or no, you went the wrong way about it. But I've passed the message that I'm not lazy. I've passed the message that I can think for myself. I passed the message that I can do something, and that is what he valued the most than always appearing before your mentor for every single challenge. And when he asks you, what have you done? You tell him nothing. If I'm your mentor, I will stop picking your calls.
So that's beautiful. So at least it should then be a combination of both.
Yes, it's a combination of both. None should be to be placed ahead of another, but because I just
but why it's important to even talk about this is because people place more reliance on that external factor than motivating yourself. I think I listened to a skit maker, content creator, Lai Wasabi. He was doing a TED talk, and it was one of those powerful TED talks I've listened to, and I was surprised that he seemed being funny, and then I was surprised to see him do that TED talk, and just so wonderful. He talked about this force of inertia. Is it force of inertia? This law given by Isaac Newton, that every object stays
on rest except an external push is being
applied. So, and he talked about how they said an external push, but he found out that an internal push. I mean, it's a powerful talk. You probably need to go and listen to it. I advise people to listen to it. And he talked about how he had to start pushing himself, and then found out that it's from internal. And then the law says that it has to take an external force to stop it. He said, no, it's not really an external force. It's still an internal force. The moment you stop, you also stop making progress.
The least I will add to that is that the external force you receive is to stir up the inner power in you. And that inner power is what does the work. Putting a fuel in a car, it just enables the car to start and move. But the driver is the person sitting inside the car. So without, let there be fuel and no driver, the car won't move. Let there be driver and no fuel, the car still won't move. So you just need these two things to be well balanced to move.
So I think this has been a very powerful conversation. I would just drop something I think listeners can, in summary, take from what we've just discussed, that you cannot want to rely on what people will say or the motivation that comes from others to make any advance in life. You have to make a decision that I want to be successful. I think you mentioned that earlier as we started. decision. It takes decision to make progress, so you have to make that decision. And then, having made the decision, don't wait for anybody to tell you what to do. Learning from your mistakes, that's another point that was made so far. And the fact that, yes, you put in the effort, but sometimes you might also receive external mentorship is one of those points that was mentioned here, and I think it's a very powerful point. Many people don't pay attention to mentorship nowadays, and I think it's something people need to pay attention to. You might want to just chip in one or two.
I want to chip in one or two things. This is it. I think First Samuel said that, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. I realized that you need to work on yourself to the point where even when everybody is telling you failed, even when everybody is telling you can't do it, you need to work on yourself to the point where you can stand and tell yourself, I can do it. Because nobody understands your journey. Nobody understands where you are going to. Nobody understands the assignment God has given you. Nobody understands your dream as much as you can. So when you get external motivations that say you can do it, you know that external motivation can even lead you into what you are not called to do, what you are not supposed to do. Somebody just looks at you and say you can do it, and you just run into it. So, I strongly believe we be able to work on ourselves so well that we can depend on our inner man. We can so much trust our instincts. We can so much believe in ourselves. Because a lot of people believe in the applause of men. We believe in the goal, yes, you can do it, of men, that their own self, they don't believe anything they tell themselves. They don't believe anything they tell themselves. And lastly, if you look at to my strong, I think I'm working on something that has to be self-awareness. But strongly, man of God, self-awareness is so important. Know yourself, because we can't keep living out. Another thing, is we keep depending on our past, like I earlier said, and we keep playing the victim card. This is my last advice. Wake up. You're not the only person to be heartbroken before. You're not the only person to have lost money before. You're not the only person to be experiencing the challenges you're experiencing before. Wake up. Trauma is not an excuse to cause other people pain. You are traumatized. It's not an excuse to cause other people pain. So be self-aware of who you are, who God has made you, and keep working on yourself to become better and live in trust of the decisions you can make.
I think that's very powerful. Let me end with this story I read from one of Miles Monroe's book. It was about he said he heard it from one of these villages he went to. An elder in the village was telling him the story. It's just this kind of fiction story, but very powerful. A lion cub. The mother left it behind, so it grew up with some of these animals, like the sheep and all that. So it would always walk with them, move around. And then one of those days, they wandered into the wild, far from the farm where they stay. So it went into the water, and it looked into the water and saw its reflection, and it was shocked. It quickly blew back because it was not looking like what he had been seeing. Not look at his own body before, so he was seeing his reflection. I was surprised. He looked again and discovered it was looking different from others. And then, whilst they were still in the wild, he had a loud roar from a lion. He had a loud roar, and something inside of him awakened, and decided he was not going back with the sheep back to their base.
Self-awareness.
He came to an awareness of who he was. And when you come to an awareness of yourself, you discover that what you thought was even big before, things that people you thought were more than you, better than you, you come to a place where you see yourself also as being very important. So I think we've learned so much from this. I've learned a lot from here.
Yes.
And also still motivated. So and I believe everyone who has listened to us has been very, very impacted. So please keep listening to us. We'll be dropping much more episodes as we progress. Every week we'll be dropping something for you. Please subscribe to our channel and just keep receiving what we have.
Thank you so much.